for having me. We're super excited to be here. We are really excited to kind of enter the Sacramento region and see what resources you guys have to offer. And then also, really important too, we love customer feedback. It's huge for us. So a little bit background about myself. We've been doing this for about 5 months out. I'm a recent graduate of UC Davis. I'm a former student athlete, and I built this website trying to solve my own problem. I'm a customer of my own product, and then from there, what we really did was we got our value prop in the hands of hundreds and thousands of other athletes to really see if what we were doing resonated with them and really find out if they're foaming at the mouth to get at this. And here's where we are. So what do we do essentially? Extremely simple right now. We give evaluations and feedback to athletes from coaches that have coached at the college level, all online. Who's our core customer right now? It's high school athletes, and we're starting with football. Our core problem that we're trying to solve here is high school athletes, they just do not have access to current college coaches. And they have no visibility into where they stand and really where they are in relationship to their competition. And to think about it, how important this is as an athlete. I mean, getting a scholarship to college, it changes lives. I've seen it firsthand. And to go into the current market and to understand this, why do current college coaches don't have the time to give feedback? Think of it as applying to Google. Imagine if Google had to respond and give feedback to every resume they got. It's the same exact thing with the current college coaching market. These kids send out hundreds of thousands of emails to all these different college coaches. They don't have the time, nor do they care. So what does Athletic Outlook do? We give these kids access and transparency. And the interesting part of how we do that is something that I saw through my college coaching experience. 25% of college coaches are fired looking for new work every single year, a quarter. In my own experience, 2 different defensive coordinators, 4 different position coaches, 2 different head coaches in 5 years. And the way college coaches talk about it, great coaches are fired every single year. It's just the nature of the game. There's so much pressure to win. There's so much money on the line. So what we've done is we built a marketplace. We built an Uber for college coaches. We collect in transition and retired college coaches and use their specialized resources and give it to players that are foaming at the mouth to get to these college coaches. This next slide is one of my favorites. So this is how we built it. This is a prospective student athlete evaluation form. This is a form that college coaches fill out behind closed doors. Look how intricate it is. I mean, you're going to hand a kid a $200,000 scholarship, you really need to know what you're doing. So what I did was I went to numerous different universities, rounded up all their evaluation sheets, and just turned it into a software. And this is what we give athletes. This is the athlete dashboard that we've come up with so far. So this is what the college coach fills out. You see position-specific attributes. So we've really tried to design this dashboard to not only give the athlete insight, but also to educate the athlete on, look, this is what they fill out, this is what they're looking for when you apply and send your data out. We also give a statistical analysis as far as educating the athlete, this is the data. This is the average data by division, by position. So just again, informing the athlete on core stats. And then also we put them in a projected division range to kind of help them focus the resources. And then we also, it's really important to us to keep the design and educate athletes. Like, you guys make huge leaps year to year. We're not trying to tell you that you're not good enough. We're trying to give you transparency in what current college coaches are saying, and here's what to work on in order to get to where you want to be. So this is the last page, our breakdown, where we tell you, look, here's what you need to work on, here's what you're really good at, and here's an overall summary of how the coach felt after watching your core data that you normally would send out to college coaches. So again, what do? Invaluable insight. We're giving kids access. We're giving them actionable content to train, and it's very high quality. So what's our business model? We're a freemium service with value added as we get the players into our marketing funnel. We allow the athletes to see a portion of the dashboard for free, and then we upscale them with an evaluation from a college coach. So what's our current status? We're huge fans of Steve Blank. We have gotten out of the building and trying to work and get feedback from our core customers. So we've really completed our MVP. We feel like we're entering a niche market, and we're currently in alpha testing with numerous different athletes. We have about 6 to 7 college coaches on the platform. We won the UC Davis Startup Competition, or placed in the UC Davis Startup Competition out of around 100 companies. And we're then looking to secure some seed funding and do a product launch. And to finish up, I'll just go over our team real quick. So our lead developer, he's getting his PhD at UC Davis right now. He has about 10 years of experience and has worked at companies like Google and IBM. And then I'm a former student athlete. I studied tech management and community and regional development. And then Dick is our advisor. He's worked at numerous companies in Silicon Valley and has just moved up here to Sacramento region. So that's about it.
Thank you, Rick. So the first question we'd like to ask our presenters is, how can this community help you?
Definitely. So we're new to the Sacramento region. I mean, we did just graduate from UC Davis, but we are looking to get connected to this region, help us learn about resources that we might not know about yet. And then other than that, the biggest thing is customer feedback. If you guys have kids that are athletes, if you were an athlete, anything, just please come talk to us. It's invaluable to us.
I'll open it up to general questions.
So what are the economics behind the services, right? You say it's free, it's free to them until they want a higher level of evaluation. What does it cost for that evaluation, and how much of that goes to your?
Yeah, so our current business model, this is part of the alpha test, but the way that it works is we have different tiers. So what happens is most athletes have highlight tapes. So you have a highlight tape tier, so we'll evaluate your highlight tape and give you feedback on that. Then there's game film, which is an in-depth analysis, and you can think of that as more of like, our college coach is going to take more time. It's more of a premium service. And then what we're working on now is a continuous process. So after every game, you send us your metrics, and we'll continually evaluate you and train you virtually. As far as pricing, do we want to talk about pricing?
We're still kind of working on it.
Yeah, well, but it's we can say is the college coaches are contracted. They're independent contractors, and we stipend them per evaluation. And the time that it takes them right now is around 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
The integration of marketing, how do you have to reach your market? Is it directly getting to the coaches or the games or high school teams, or how are you going to reach them?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Athletes are bombarded with a lot of different services. They are just bombarded. And really, what it comes down to, the beautiful message about us is, look, we are so simple. Like, we're not a full-blown recruiting service. Just come to us and we'll tell you where you're at. We come at these athletes with simplicity, and really it's resonated so well. It's not some complicated service. I mean, we want to educate them on how the process works, and we have different marketing techniques we're working on, but to enter our niche market right now, and what's resonated incredibly well so far, is coming at these athletes like, look, we're trying to give you real, genuine feedback in a very simple service and a very simple message.
One follow-up.
Yeah.
Once they get their data, can they take their data out? Can they export their data, or are they stuck with their platform?
What do you mean when you say that, export the data? I mean, they could easily...
I guess as they mature in their career.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to be there for, really, is where we see a lot of value, is continually watching them improve, and then, data analytics over time. But they could easily take our data off, I mean, with an Excel sheet potentially, or...
Russ, can I make a comment? So I think there's two things I'd add on there. One of the value props is the resource center. So I think you're going to have a lot of parents and kids say, hey, we got to go to athletic outlet because you've got this resource center. A lot of it's in the premium area where we're going to figure out how this whole deal works, because for most people, it's just like kids applying to college in general. It's very confusing. So we're going to be the go-to place. The second thing that's really important, which is not obvious to, I don't think is obvious, we're starting with football. This thing could apply to golf, it could apply to basketball, it could go to any sport. So it's very portable and transferable across multiple sports.
I'm wondering at your Alpha, are your target customers more of the high school football students to begin with, or is it their parents?
So really right now in our Alpha, the kids have been reaching out to us.
Okay.
But really it's been a dual. So once the kid reaches out to us, the parent's heavily involved. And then what we've done also is we've looked at companies in this space and reach out to them, and it's mostly parents. It's mostly all parents paying for the service. So
Yeah, they have the money, right?
exactly.
Yeah, so I live in Folsom, and Folsom High School football.
Yeah,
Pretty big.
definitely.
I mean, there are parents that are moving from Texas,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's incredible. Right?
No, it's a religion. It's great.
It is, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, very cool. Couple questions, one question, one comment. So, I worked at a place called the Rikers Center for Human Performance, and basically it's a youth training program that was cutting edge with the Frappier accelerator program, which was a super treadmill. Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig, and these guys trained there. So, looking at what you guys do, what we did there is we would custom make based upon the kids' weaknesses and strengths and what their goals were, tailor-make workouts. So based upon what this kid's sport is, age, height, position, weaknesses, the upsell could be now a customized training program, nutrition program that is, incrementally a monthly pay, whatever. And obviously kids get a need to sign up for 6 months and see any real traction.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've already thought of that, but I just see that as a natural progression, because there's no way I can take the time to look at this as an athlete, see where my deficiencies are, see them at the cusp of D1, but I'm still D2, but if I work in these things, I might pop over the edge. It's an easy sell.
Yeah. No, exactly. You just hit it right on the head. That's exactly what we do. We collect the athlete's primary goals, where they're at, and the amazing part about this for people that didn't play college sports is the amount of data that we can derive all online. And that last page you saw, getting an athlete's 3 core things that he needs to work on at such a young age will transform the athlete. We actually put myself through this, my high school self through this, and turned out the 3 core things that I needed to work on that showed up in my high school film were the 3 core things that ended up I needed to work on at the college level as well. So if I was able to understand and know that at the high school level, it wouldn't change my game at the college level as well.
I noticed that, so like this app, it's very similar to a lot of other workout apps. As you build your data, you become more kind of integrated with it. So as you're going through the alpha and beta, maybe something to think about from a technical perspective is how easy you're going to make it to bring that data in, whether it's integrating with other apps, maybe that bring that data in, or like a Garmin or whatever, because as they get more and more data built in your system, they're going to be more and more your customers.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're doing. So, and no, thank you for your comment, but you're so right. There's so much data out there already, and we're collecting that right now.
I played college basketball, and I think this is awesome, and I wish I had this when I played, and I also coach basketball, so once we move on to, I coach varsity basketball at Oakridge High School.
Okay.
And our head coach is the athletic director, so I might be able to help.
Perfect.
get
No,
into football.
that's the next sport we're working to get in. It's extremely similar. So.
Yeah, and I was thinking what, like Austin said, like for basketball, we use Huddle as our kind of, so like the game film sites that you're able to just send you the film that way.
That's exactly what we do. So she just mentioned a company called Huddle, and they organize all film for high school sports. So that's actually the first part of our login process. Give us your Huddle profile, and now we have all the data we need.
How do you do quality control on the data coming in? Because there's a lot riding on this for that individual, and if you get an evaluator who doesn't know their stuff,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden their bad input skews you down. How do you assure that they're going to get?
So right now in the alpha stage, quality control has been very easy because all the college coaches that are on our platform are college coaches that I know, that I played with or coached with. Another thing too to know about the college coaching industry is a very tight-knit community. And on top of that, we've actually capped it on college coaches right now because there's so many, a college coach that's either in transition or out of work is so hungry to make an extra money that utilizing a specialized skill that he's already so good at, it's very easy to regulate these guys. Like, look, if you don't meet these areas, you're off the platform. You don't get paid anymore. Other back-end stuff that we're doing is, we can track time, we can do cross evaluations, have other coaches check other coaches. There's a lot of stuff that we're thinking on that end. And then also from a design standpoint, we don't want to make it so complicated for these kids. So based on the tiers they select, it's very well thought out design to keep it simple but be super effective.
Would you throw out like the outliers? Let's say these coaches ranked him, gave him 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. This guy comes in with 4. Like, would you just toss that one, or would you put that to the average?
So what do you mean?
So like, when coaches are evaluating an athlete, and let's say 5 coaches scout the same athlete, and they input their data, and they all rank this kid up here, but one coach or scout comes in and gives them a crappy score. Do you chuck that one out?
So this is a really interesting point. This is the beauty of college evaluations, right? So we're telling you is we're connecting you with coaches that have only coached at the college level. This is the same exact thing that happens when you send your data out. I can send my data out to 5 different schools. They don't like me, and then I send it out to this college coach, and he sees something in me that others do not. So, and again, keep in mind that you're not going to get all of them saying this kid's the next Tom Brady, and then
Right.
it's very close knit in what we've shown, but it's part of the education process because that's exactly what happens when these kids send their film out.
Skip someone who hasn't asked a question yet.
Oh, sorry, I have it in a blind spot.
Can the players and the coaches interact? Like, will the players know the coach's name?
Yeah, so the way we do it on Ben is we compile our coaches and showcase experience, because with coaches in transition, they don't want kids reaching out to them like, why did you evaluate me like this type of stuff. And then also from our end, it's showed just as valuable. As long as these kids understand that they coach at these types of universities, it's fine. And then also we want, as far as scaling and growing it makes it better on our end. And then also to answer your second question, we are looking at other routes for continuous coaching, but right now in our alpha stage, super simple product development, customer feedback, we're trying to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, what's the revenue potential partnering with high schools?
So what do you mean?
So if you did like peer partnership or maybe a special package to high schools to help them have access to your platform for their students, definitely revenue potential.
So there's a couple different opportunities there, because something that we're building out in our resource center is extremely valuable to, say, high school coaches, right? Because we're collecting data on coaches that have coached at the college level. So there's different potential opportunities with not only partnering with high schools to evaluate, say, X amount of kids, because in general it just helps these kids, but also there's potential that high school coaches would be interested in our data, because then they can see, look, this is how college coaches break kids down, here's drills from college coaches, X, Y, and Z. So.
Can you talk about competitors?
Yeah, so this is really, really interesting. And I touched on it a little, but we're really trying to be, an athlete's first step. That's how we're kind of getting in right now. So I actually left our competitive landscape slide out, but the way you look at it right now is there's huge recruiting platforms. And what they do is they connect athletes to a database of college coaches. And so those athletes can take their data and send it out to current college coaches' email database. I don't want to go into too much detail about competitive landscape, talking about it right now, and give away too much, but just how we feel about it right now, and with what we know, we feel like we are doing these kids a justice by giving them real concrete feedback and connecting them to vetted professionals that actually know what they're talking about.
What position did you play?
I played linebacker, but I lost about 20 pounds.
Do you have any academics built into it? Because I went to the UC Davis as well and played baseball, and one of my big things when I was getting recruited was my academics, was whether I could, they could give me 50% of my academics and then 10% on my baseball scholarship.
Yeah, we do actually. So the dashboard we showed you is actually a dashboard we created about 3 or 4 months ago. It's changed a lot, but one part is we collect a GPA. It's just an educational process. So once we collect an athlete's GPA, we notify them, like, this is how many schools you're keeping yourself out of because of your GPA. So again, educational process, streamlined, all online, super simple.
Curious what your go-to-market strategy is post-beta.
So we have thought about this. Again, following Steve Blank, our core focus right now is customer feedback, iron out all the kinks, But something we're looking at a lot right now is, I know a lot of well-known trainers, and they're geographically located. What I mean by that is they're well-known in specific areas. And they really like what we're doing because they look at us and they go, wow, a service that isn't just trying to sell these kids on X, Y, and Z, but just give them real feedback, real genuine feedback. So we're looking at personalized coupons for these coaches because it helps them train the kids as well. So we would give reputable trainers across the nation personalized coupons, paying the trainer per evaluation, and then discounting the athlete if they sign up for their.
So using them as a channel.
Exactly.
Any other questions?
Just got one quick one. I noticed on your website, no YouTube link, I think. Like
I'm sorry, what?
No YouTube link, no YouTube like on your marketing.
Oh, yeah.
That, I saw the video on the front page, I didn't click on that, but I think people understanding it, like a 30-second little commercial, I think, where the parents would see the whole, what you're trying to accomplish, because I think parents are just bombarded with the students, like, is this a portfolio, or how am I going to use this to?
No, you hit it right on the spot, and that's exactly, we actually have that developed. So what you saw, the website we saw, is just a landing page right now. And that's exactly, I mean, you've hit it right on the thing. We're going to have a short, sweet video with a very simple value prop and utilize the current market as part of our marketing strategy.
I like it. I think it's very positive.
Thank you.
It's not a question, but you're going to see in a second, I'm kind of in a similar space to you.
Yeah.
And I've worked in higher education for the last 4 years, and I've worked in the marketplace as well. I'm happy to talk with you afterwards about some of the economies of scale that we've learned in introducing our product into high schools. It's a tough, because there's so many influencers. Parents, I know there's a bunch of them, it can be challenging.
No, definitely. Thank you for that. We'll definitely catch up after.
We learned a lot of early lessons that I'd love to.
Yeah, that'd be extremely valuable to us.
Just a local connection that might be able to help you make introductions when you're ready. Across the board to all high schools is Positive Coaching Alliance. A gentleman named John Stone lives in El Dorado Hills, whereas your businesses aren't the same. They can make those introductions across the board.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
All right, well, thank you, Russell. So, just a few people hanging out back. If you'd like to come in, there's some seats available. We've got one right here and one over here. One right.